Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a case history, a true story. It's actually one of my favorite stories and testimonials using the power of imagination, the law of assumption. This is actually a story with somebody that went to consult with Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was doing coaching, and he was actually coaching this lady, and her grandchild actually overheard the coaching, and he decided to use it himself, and he used it in this story. It's actually one of my favorite testimonials from The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is the story of a very unexpected result of an interview with a lady who came to consult me. Okay, so Neville Goddard is coaching this lady right here. Okay, so one afternoon, a young grandmother, a businesswoman in New York, came to see me. She brought along her 9-year-old grandson who was visiting from his home in Pennsylvania. In response to her questions, I explained the law of assumption, describing in detail the procedure to be followed in attaining an objective. The boy sat quietly, apparently absorbed in a small toy truck, while I explained to the grandmother the method of assuming the state of consciousness that would be hers were her desire already fulfilled. Okay, so I told her the story of the soldier in a camp, which was actually Neville Goddard's story. Each night fell asleep imagining himself to be in his own bed, in his own home. When the boy and his grandmother were leaving, he looked up at me with great excitement and said, "I know what I want, and now I know how to get it." Surprised, I asked. Neville Goddard asked the boy. He said, I asked him what it was he wanted. He told me that he had his heart set on a puppy. To this, the grandmother vigorously protested, telling the boy that it had been made clear repeatedly that he could not have a dog and under any circumstances, that his father and mother would not allow it, that the boy was too young to care for it properly, and furthermore, the father had a deep dislike for dogs. He actually hated to have one around. All these were arguments the boy, passionately desirous of having a dog, refused to understand. "Now I know what to do," he said, "every night, just as I am going off to sleep. I am going to pretend that I have a dog and we are going for a walk." "No," said the grandmother, "that is not what Mr. Neville means. This was not meant for you. You cannot have a dog." Approximately 6 weeks later, the grandmother told me what was to her an astonishing story. The boy's desire to own a dog was so intense that he had absorbed all that I had told his grandmother on how to attain one's desire, and he believed implicitly that at last he knew how to get the dog. Putting this belief into practice, for many nights the boy imagined a dog was lying in his bed beside him. In imagination, he petted the dog, actually feeling its fur. All right, so he's creating the imaginal act here of having the puppies, actually petting the fur, petting the dog, actually feeling the present moment with the dog, the present feeling of already having a dog, and things like playing with the dog and taking the dog for a walk in his mind, in his imagination. He's imagining walking the dog, petting the dog, playing with the dog, all these things that would imply that he had a dog now. Okay, so within a few weeks, it happened. A newspaper in the city in which the boy lived organized a special program in connection with Kindness to Animals Week. All school children were requested to write an essay on why I would like to own a dog. After entries from all the schools were submitted and judged, the winner of the contest was announced. The very same boy who weeks before in my apartment in New York had told me, "Now I know how to get a dog," was the winner of that. Okay, he won that. He actually wrote a story on it, and he actually was the winner in an elaborate ceremony which was publicized with stories and pictures in the newspaper. The boy was awarded a beautiful collie puppy. In relating this story, the grandmother told me that if the boy had been given the money with which to buy a dog, the parents would have refused to do so and would have used it to buy a bond for the boy or put it in a savings bank for him. Furthermore, if someone had made the boy a gift of the dog, they would have refused the gift or given it away. Okay, so but the dramatic manner in which the boy got the dog, the way he won the citywide contest, the stories and pictures in newspaper, the pride of achievement and joy of the boy himself, all combined to bring about a change of heart in the parents. Okay, so, and they found themselves doing that which they never conceived possible. They allowed him to keep the dog. All this, the grandmother explained to me, and she concluded that by saying that there was only one particular kind of dog on which the boy had his heart set on, and that was a collie. Okay, so basically, It doesn't matter. Your circumstances do not matter in your world. There's going to be something that's going to happen. Just like if the boy would have gotten the dog a gift, they would have denied the gift. Or if he would have if somebody would have gave him enough money to buy the puppy, they would have turned the money down, or they would have used it for a bond for the boy for his future investments. Okay, so but it happened in such a way where he actually wrote a paper to the newspaper and all these pictures and everything, and he actually created an event to happen where his parents could not refuse him to actually have the dog. And this is what happens when you use your imagination to create something. There's going to be circumstances are going to change. You're going to shift to the reality where it has to happen. Just like I said before, there's an infinite amount of worlds to shift to. And when you're imagining and feeling that you have something, no matter what it is, if it's amount of money, if it's a dog like this story, or a relationship, or a new car, a new house, doesn't matter what it is. If you can create this feeling, there's going to be something crazy that's going to happen to you that's actually going to manifest this in this world. And whatever has to happen will happen. And there's nothing that can stop it from happening except your lack of persistence in this feeling of, or actually assuming and affirming and scripting something to actually take place. So this is another great story. This is one of my favorite stories because the way that it happened, like the parents would not have even have allowed him to have a dog if somebody gave him one, or gave him enough money to get one, or if somebody gifted him, the parents would not have allowed him to have it, but he got it in such a way when he imagined it, but because the subconscious mind knows everything. And there's a world that connects, that corresponds with your feelings, and it will happen. It doesn't matter. Nothing can stop that from happening. And everything is already set in place depending on your imagination, what you're feeling and consent to be is true, and what you're visualizing and you're feeling in your world right now. So I love this story. All right, guys, that is the end of this video. I love you guys very much. Don't forget to give me one thing you guys are grateful for in the comment box below, or anything that you want me to cover, or any questions you have. I read all the comments, so leave whatever you would like in the comment box below, and we'll see you in case history number 4, which is actually a really good story, a very good testimony we'll be getting to next. I'll see you guys in that video.